Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Bonus Sunday night painting stream thing. Yes, we turned on the camera yet again. Let me load up our little area here for comments. Ooh. And then we'll get to some painting. So yeah, tonight's stream may be a little bit of a boring one, I won't lie. But that's okay, because we're just going to paint. We're going to talk. Whoa. Jeez, quiet. All right. And let's put that here. So I have to split screen when I do this. I have the YouTube comment section going on the other side there. Then I have my basically the Hangout window on the other side, so I can actually see what I'm doing here. I'm going to turn on Periscope as well. Let me get you a link, Mr. Damien. Let me do that. Always with the setup stuff, right? I think if you guys watch this recorded, you're used to just skipping past the first couple of minutes and just getting right into it, I assume. We'll see. Where doth I go, huh? All right, so here we go. Blink. There we go. So there's that. And so put that back in here. There we go. Okay. Now we can get to it. I'm going to turn on Periscope, and we're going to record on Periscope. We're going to call this Dorado painting. All right, we're going to hit that, and there we go. Now we're simulcast on Periscope and YouTube and Google+. That's a lot of ands. That's a lot of just painting shit. Yeah. I don't know. On the YouTube side, I may actually want to try to get a little more of a top-down type thing going. That's not too bad. Okay, so let me show you what I'm working on. And for those of you who might have been watching my Instagram or Facebook, look, the hand is still there. All 5 fingers, still good. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Yesterday, I was pinning this set here, which I'll show you in a moment. Was pinning this set and like jabbed my thumb pretty bad. Maybe you can see it here on YouTube or Periscope. It's at the bottom of your screen, and a couple of places here in the other fingers. The good news is that's my left hand, so I just normally just jab right into that with the pin vise. And over here we are going to keep going. So here's what I was assembling yesterday, and I did some initial like base coats on them too. I'm going to try to get them so that, let's get this so that both, there we go. So it's basically the same viewing area for YouTube and Periscope here. So there we go. This is the Dorado Immortal set that I'm painting for Tori. This is part of his prize that he won for winning the Dorado tournament that Gareth hosted a couple of weeks ago. I know that it was advertised as a painted lost starter. Tori decided he wanted the Immortals, and I said, hey, it's just easy enough for me to go ahead and pick up an Immortal starter, paint that for you, and then when the lost one comes in, I can go ahead and swap it out, and I can paint up a lost starter for me, or maybe I can give that away too. We'll see. So here's what we're looking at. I airbrushed the red parts. You can see he wanted a red and black color scheme, so we're going to work with that. I'll be honest with you, I'm not terribly fond of that particular scheme, and I'll explain why. The reason why is I painted Samehan Eldar stuff for you 40K fans that know what I'm talking about, and they use a red and black color scheme. And the thing about painting red and black, when you do miniature painting for red and black, is you don't shade them much. You really don't touch them a whole lot. They're fairly solid colors. Now that's good from the standpoint of like having a simplistic paint scheme. It's not so good if you're like me and you like to go crazy with lighting and highlighting and all that stuff. But that said, here's what we're looking at. Let's see if I can actually get it to where, there we go. That's actually the spot for both cameras, huh? You can see, started with a brown undercoat, sprayed like a you know, sprayed with a like almost a sienna color. And now I'm going to go through and I'm going to apply a couple of red colors, and we're going to just kind of take it from there. So I need I'm going to need a fairly intense red here, because this red isn't the actual color. This is going to be the highlight color, the lighting. Damien says, I'll totes buy it. Yeah, if you're interested in my Lost, I will be selling the Lost. I'll be selling probably my whole Lost, my entire Lost collection, which includes all the Corvus stuff. I will also be painting this guy right here, Bran Carnoth, or we like to call him Bryan Cranston, is part of that. So we'll be doing that too. That will all be one set essentially. Okay, so we're going to go in right now with some flat red. And again, I'm going to do a dry brush, which is kind of weird, but that's how I've been doing it these days. It's, if you can do the dry brush just subtle enough, it'll look more like lighting. And with red, it's kind of crazy to go that route, but let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to mix this up. Again, I'm using my makeup brush here. Well, it's not, I don't use it for makeup. Okay, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe one day I'm like cosplaying something, Emperor Ming, and I need eyeshadow. I need like red eyeshadow or something like that, and I'll totally do it. I don't care. You can't stop me. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So, so now you wipe most of that off. You're gonna wipe off as much of that red as possible. They say like 90%, like wipe 90% of it off, and then you can do this number. Okay, so then we're gonna do that, and we're gonna apply a red dry brush, and I'm gonna go, you don't want to go too many different directions when you're doing this. You want to go one kind of similar direction, and you want the highlight, you want to apply this more towards the top of the model, or at least where you're lighting the model. This is the top of the model. That's where I go. Okay, so I'm just gonna do that. And it's kind of a sloppy job, but a couple layers like this, and this color is going to come in nice, and it's going to come in nice and red. Funny thing is, I don't know if it's red and black. I don't know. I haven't decided what parts are going to be black yet. I just have to do the whole thing red, because that's the harder color to paint. The one that's harder, I should say, the color that's going to hide the least, you paint that. I tend to paint that color in first. Then I can come around and paint in the darker color to offset it. Okay, there we go. So one down. Here's the peasants. So tonight's going to be just line painting. It's not going to be very exciting from a technical standpoint. This is just what you might do if you have several miniatures that are the same or similar color scheme. These miniatures have been requested to be red and black, so I'm going to paint them. So my MO here is going to be to paint them all red, get that red all highlighted, ready to go, then come in, hit it with the black, and that's really the black. You do like almost no highlighting on. So, but this red is nice. I mean, at least the red right now is gaining character as I'm doing this to it. Oh, that's cool. This is all on one swing arm, so you can go, whoa! That's cool. I can bring it in, take it out. I like this whole simulcast thing. It's kind of cool. All right. And you get to watch me paint this stuff. I know it's exciting. I know. Settle down. All right. So here we go. All right. So if you are working on something, one of the things we do here on Play It Painted Live is we ask you to tell us what you're working on too, or failing that, because we know we're all gamers and you guys might be sitting around hoping that some of this inspires you to do something. Tell us what you should be working on too. That's kind of how we do it. We say, tell us what you're working on or what you should be working on. It's kind of one of the things we do on this show. Okay. That is looking like a pretty good dry brush so far. Yeah, okay, ship it. Here we go. Here's the water carrier. This is going to be a fun model when this thing finally is done. But see, what I'm trying to decide is, like, if you look at how the normal layout of this model, like, do I paint the overshirt black? Do I leave it red? Do I paint the trousers black? Do I paint those red? That's what we're going to decide. And since I haven't decided, what I would normally do is I just go ahead and paint the whole thing red, and then come back and hit whatever is going to be black will be black. Okay, that's a pretty good dry brush there. Most of it, color looks pretty good. Now, let's highlight that a bit. Right, so here's the dudes. Here's the lemure, who has no color on him. Actually, you know what? Before we move on, I should probably paint his, well, I'll paint his tongue. Let's go in with the carmine red. So we'll go do, actually, let's do this. Let's paint his tongue this like saddle brown color. So we can do that. Oh, shoot. Like, I could also be working on this dude's red too, but I didn't. This is Sulla from Arena Rex. This is a really cool model, which I've done next to nothing on. Actually, you know what? I totally have a different MO for this model, so we're gonna skip him. See, I'm working on a ton of shit at the same time right now because I'm like bouncing around. It's usually not a good thing to do when you're painting. You want to finish projects as they come by. But here, just look at a couple of other. Let's see if I can get this both to go. This is an Anima Tactics miniature. She's kind of boring. Forget her name. Lizbel. She's kind of boring. She's got like a t-shirt and a skirt on and then like knee-high boots. And she's supposed to be like all pink or all like really pale pink. But I started with her on white. Here is the miniature I'm going to paint on the Wednesday show. I'm saving her for that because she's freaking awesome. I love this miniature. This is Bridget from Anima Tactics. Just love the character on that model. Look at the white is in. The white blouse is in, and the skin is just about done. See if I can get it to focus on Periscope. There we go. Yeah, so you can see the white blouse and the skin is in. She's got the little short shorts and the little stockings. This just absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to finish that model. But she's gonna chill. So on Wednesday, that's really my Wednesday shows. I try to stick with individual painting on the Wednesday show for that reason, because it's just boring to watch this kind of painting that I'm doing right now. But I appreciate you guys watching it anyway. So this is line painting. This is actually, if you want me to be honest, this is what it looks like most of the time when I'm painting projects. And I do a lot of projects. I'm a fairly prolific painter, so I go through quite a bit at the same time. So let's now brighten this up. Okay, so with red, there's two ways you can go. You can go pink, you can go towards pink, and you can go towards orange. And frankly, it's a bad idea to go too far with either color. You can go pink pink being a cool red, and orange being more of a warm red, like a warm organic red. And we're going to stick with an organic red, meaning this is going to be more of like a brownish red than a pure red, right? Inorganic reds are really bright, really intense reds. Like that's more of an inorganic red. To completely oversimplify it, this color would be like an inorganic red, what most people consider to be red. And then, I'm sorry, this is an organic red. Inorganic reds are like this kind, more like almost like a rust color, rust iron oxide color. And so that's what we're going to move our more towards the inorganic side, which means I'm going to highlight with an orange here. This is a really bright orange. So I'm a little terrified of that. I don't think I want to go in that high just yet. So I'm going to mix that into the red that we just highlighted with. Okay, so we'll mix that up. And this should result in a very, very, very intense bright red. Yeah, this is a really bright red. Okay, so this is almost like a Ronald McDonald red. You can actually see the color on the YouTube feed, not so much on the Periscope side. Here, let me show you guys what this looks like. Super intense, bright red. Okay. Let me reload comments on YouTube just in case. We'll see if there's any. Oh, there's no other comments on YouTube, but I do appreciate the people that are watching. All right. So now we're just going to take this. We're going to go a little bit higher on each model. So I'm going to stick. This time I'm really going to stick to the top. You can already see here. See on the top of his hat, already really bright red. He looks like the Grand Poobah. Not the rapper, the Grand Poobah. I'm talking about the Flintstones, the Grand Poobah. Yeah, this is quite nice. Really warm red. Coming out really nice on the. This is the bureaucrat. He's like he looks kind of like a David Lopan type character. He's one of my favorite officers for Eldorado. He's the one that comes in the starter. It's odd that he's the one that comes in the starter because I consider him to probably be the most difficult officer for Immortals to understand. He's really kind of a board control type officer. And this whole starter is based on board control. It's based on terraforming and board control and basically ruining somebody's day, who, especially Westerners and lists that rely a lot on command. This guy can mess up your day pretty bad. And he has just some really cool area control effects. So then you put him in the starter with the water carrier, right? A water carrier is another area control guy. He's a buffer. He's got good auras. He's not a combatant, but he's there to move auras around, move health around. He can manipulate the health between peasants. That's what most people, why they field a water carrier. They're pretty cool. Okay. And then you mix a water carrier with peasants. That's what they do. That's really where they that's really where these guys shine. And peasants, one of the nastiest anti-charge units in Eldorado because of their crazy for a 16-point model, they have a crazy good power chart. meaning their damage is high. They don't have high combat, but what they have is they have a thing called Tenacious 2, which is really kind of like a come at me bro type unit. Like they're really good if you try to come at them before they've activated. Peasants are really, really good for that. They're just it's a really nasty surprise because somebody's like, oh, I'll just come by here and knock out these 2 peasants and I'll get my scenario or whatever. And the peasants will just jack up your world, dude. They will just not make it a good day for you. All right. Did the rapper get the name from the Flintstones? Yes, he did, actually. The Grand Poobah rapper did get his name from the Flintstones because that's, I don't know, everybody's got their influences, right? So, Grand Poobah. I like the Grand Poobah too. That's like that would be like, I guess he was early 90s hip hop for you hip hop fans there. I'm sure Canvas is cringing right now. But yeah, relax, Canvas. It'll be okay. All right, so there we go. All right, and so now that's essentially it for the red. If I really want to touch it up, I can take that color and start to line highlight it. And in fact, I think I'm going to do that because that's really cool. So now we're just going to break out the old brush. And now we're going to start to apply some line highlighting. All right, this whole set really should be on stands right now, but I haven't done any of the faces or any of the skin, so that's why. And I don't like to mount them until I've done that, because that's really where you need to get in up close on the model. So here I am. Let me see if I can get this to where both cameras can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to line highlight. Okay, so purpose of the highlight, get some of that intense red going. You can see I'm not that precise for a line highlight. That's okay. We will make it more precise. We will make this work to our advantage. I love this guy. I have an Asian costume, like a Chinese traditional Han Dynasty costume that I wear for like Ren Fair and Comic-Con and events like that. And I want to eventually mod that costume because it's red and gold. I want to mod the costume to look like what this dude is wearing because it's awesome. I don't really know where where the black is gonna go on this guy, unless I don't want to paint his robe black. I think that's a waste. I could probably paint the under robe part black, and then just leave a gold embroidery on it, but on this part of it. But right now, let's get some of these highlights going. I think this red's gonna look pretty cool. Once again, not the biggest fan of painting red because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot you can do to it or you should do to red, but we're doing that. Let's see. I just realized if that model's low pan, the other three are the 3 storms. Sort of. I mean, these are just peasants. You can make the 3 storms, which is cool. I mean, that's one of the things you could do with this is you could take this set and use it for a fistful of kung fu, which would give you rules so that you could actually make him David Low Pan and the other 3 can be the 3 storms. If I ever finish my costume like that, I need like 3 dudes who would come run around a con with me and be the 3 storms. Need a big guy to be, thunder, obviously. Need wind and we need lightning. Lightning would have to be one of my engineer friends or somebody that could really do crazy lighting stunts like that. There we go. See if I can get him to. So I think on YouTube, he doesn't look very good at all. The color seems, Periscope, it seems a little more accurate to the color, but whatever. Let's work on this peasant. This is a hybrid peasant. So the immortals they basically have two versions of everything. They have a human version of it, and then they have a human version, and then they have a demon hybrid version. Because the way it works for immortals is like the more time they spend in hell, the more they start to get basically influenced by the hell magic. I'll say the hell magic around them. So they start to take on more demonic type appearances. They got these horns. They start growing horns like that guy. They'll grow tails. They'll have scales on their skin. There's stuff that happens to them, and they actually kind of wear that hybrid status. They kind of wear that as like a badge of honor, right? That means I've kind of been through some of the trials of hell. It means overall I'm a more enlightened person. So that's one of the things with immortals. They have a really kind of cool background for Hell Dorado, for being a bunch of like warped Buddhists, essentially. And pretty cool. Let's see. Let's just pretend. Nice. Should I switch to Periscope? I don't know. I think it's better. Honestly, Periscope is cool. And it's cool for the live element. There's much less of a delay, but your comments on Periscope might just fly right by. I might never see them. That's one of the downsides to Periscope is, there's not that like I have like not a whole lot of people watch me on Periscope, but well, shit, not a whole lot of people watch me on YouTube either. But it's harder for me to stay on top of comments because they kind of flash by on Periscope. So it's up to you. If you want less of a delay, and hop over to Periscope. If you want to have be more part of the conversation, then you're good over on YouTube. Wow. Yeah. So you can see it looks weird on. So I'm just trying to get the lighting right on these as we go. But the red should go down pretty easy. Pretty nice red. You can, the simplest way to do red is just paint it and then wash it with an umber. And that usually does the trick. Like if I'm doing red really fast on another model, red isn't the main color that I need to worry about lighting for. That's what I'll do. I'll just paint it and then wash it with an umber. So just take that for what you will. It's like the quickest way to do red. We're going to fancy up this red a little bit more though. So I'm going to apply this highlight and then I'm going to apply like one more highlight and then we're going to be good. Okay. In before everyone jumps to YouTube. Yeah, the usual night is Wednesday night at 9 on YouTube. So some people know it's actually more like 9:30, 10 because I always start the feed late because there's always something going on at the house or I need to get something ready. So I tend to start that feed a little bit late. That was way too much paint right there. I'm gonna have to make up for it. Okay. But yeah, that's the usual night. But they know that I'll just turn on the camera at random moments. Like if I'm painting and I'm not watching something, like if I'm not watching a movie or anime or I don't have music playing, then I'll just turn the camera on and bullshit into the camera. And so hopefully, one or two people will hop on, make some comments, and we'll take it from there. I need a snack. I need a snack. Where did that? I thought I brought a snack in here. What did I do with it, though? Let's see. I'll let that dry for a minute anyway. I thought for sure I brought a snack in. Here it is. Okay. So tonight's show brought to you by Annie's friends, homegrown friends, Bunny Grahams. These are, I think this is like some late Easter snack. Holy shit. I know it's late September. Some weird, like false Easter snacks coming out. Question is, what do you guys eat while you're doing your hobby? I just eat garbage when I'm trying to eat better. These aren't bad. Okay. All right. Question is, do I want to do any more highlighting? I do. I actually want to just do some really fine line highlighting with almost pure orange. I just wanted to pick a couple of surfaces. They sell those year-round at Trader Joe's? Okay. Did not know that. So they're not just some weird like knockoff thing that I found at the 7-Eleven. And I was like, oh, those look suspect. I need to try those. Kind of how when I'm in 7-Eleven, I kind of romanticize the idea of having like weird off snacks, like Bimbos. Not Bimbos the girls, but like Bimbos the brand of snacks. Bimbos, and I'll just have weird shit when I go to 7-Eleven. And I found those and I was like, that just doesn't look right. Let's try that. All right. Kind of forget to eat when I'm painting. Oh. Not me, dude. I need it. I need the extra bit of energy. All right, so here, just taking hard, the edges and applying essentially an orange to it. The orange will dull down if I've got this thin enough. And it's just not gonna, it won't appear to be that stark. And if, for whatever reason, if this red starts to get too weird on you, if it gets too orange, you can always wash it. It's a good idea to take a red wash or red ink if you need to. There you go. Okay, so you don't want to do too much of this. You just want enough to where all you're doing is you're just tricking the eye to look at specific parts of the model. That's all you're really doing with this. See how that's just the edges here, kind of tattered part, the edges of the pants. That's all you're looking to do. Just want to, you're not trying to paint flames or anything like that. I suppose I could start painting the lava stuff since I have the reds and the oranges out. Might as well, huh? Let's hit this highlight, and then I'll do that. We'll paint the bottoms in, the bottom of the bases. And I'll show you how I do my generic Eldorado Eldorado bases. They're just generic lava bases. But they do the trick, and they're quick, and they're dirty, they're simple. And it's a way to ensure, for me, it's a way to ensure that all my Eldorado models at least look similar in terms of their basing without like settling in on a specific resin base manufacturer. Because I love my resin bases. Like I love Secret Weapon stuff. I love Forgecraft game stuff. But you know, sometimes you run out of them, or you don't have the money to buy more resin bases. So you gotta stick with more economical basing solutions. And this is one of my my go-tos is the cork and sand solution here. It works out just right. At the miniatures desk, I'm more likely to eat since it's my room, which is across the hall from the kitchen. When I'm in the painting studio, usually don't stop if I'm on a roll. I see. Yeah, I don't. I just have this little area here to paint my miniatures in this room, this spare room of our house, which will one day not be a spare room. Either this is we're gonna turn this more into a study, and then as my son gets older, he may move into the downstairs bedroom, or he may move in here. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, and maybe the other room will become a study. Okay. There we go. And who's left? Did him. Need to highlight the water carrier. I lava that idea. Haha, that was a pun. Okay. So here we go. That's about all I need to do. It's really not much to that orange. You just hit it. And you really don't want to overdo these highlights because it'll look super weird. All right. That'll blend because it's super thin. It's just going to give us a little bit of light. Just going to throw a little bit of light on these models. Red and black is pretty dark, but we'll make sure to play around with the lighting a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna paint in the lava part, the bottom. Might as well just start it. And you start with a yellow. The yellow is going to be the majority of the base coat for this. So I'm going deep yellow, and I'm going to need kind of a cruddy brush because I'm painting texture. When you're painting texture, when you're painting sand, essentially, break out the cruddier brush. I have that Games Workshop brush somewhere. Where's that GW brush? That's a Series 7. Oh, this is the GW brush. Oh, good choice. All right. So we're just going to coat that entire sandy parts of the base a yellow. And then we're going to, then you just dry brush a little bit of orange into it. And you come back and you do the orange when you're painting the rock part. Basically the piece of granite, or the dried molten rock that they're walking on. See, so the idea with the yellow, just get in all the crevices here. You can be sloppy because it's yellow, and every other color that you're going to paint on this base will cover yellow. So Don't sweat it too much. Just make sure to get it in there. Okay. I like most of my painting techniques to be around the whole concept of don't sweat it too much, just get the paint on there. Because, if you're doing that, if you do enough steps like that, it makes the tedious parts that much easier to deal with. And when you recognize that, hey, painting this model, there's really only 1 or 2 steps that are tedious, that makes you more likely to tackle more models. At least it makes me more likely to do that. All right. That guy, this one, the Lemire here, almost has no tedious parts to it. That's just a really quick paint job. All right. I think Immortals are so cool. I'm glad Tori decided to go Immortals. We'll see how he plays them and if it's any different than how I play them. I'm going to build a Saracen's army. Play that for a little bit. I don't know if I'm keeping it, though. I just want to play it for a little bit. And then maybe auction it off for extra life or something like that. Yeah, that reminds me. I got to start planning Extra Life 2015 here. And see if you guys want to sponsor me for that. I will try to make it worth your while. In other words, I will probably be giving away stuff both online and in person. So if you can't make it to the actual event, you can bid online and get some swag. And it's a good cause. And it's super fun. I love Extra Life. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I may be a little bit resource strained this year, so I may not raise as much as we did last year. In fact, I don't even know if I have a team. There were some people that expressed interest in helping out this year, but everybody got really busy, so I don't know who's actually going to be around for that. Anyway, cool. Let's go ahead and let that dry. Let me grab a couple more cookies. And then we'll paint something tedious. You gotta paint eyes. I hate painting eyes is always tedious. I'm gonna do my good white. I'm gonna use black and off-white for this. You'll help. Nice. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you wanna, I have an Extra Life team page started. I'll shoot you a link. Note that I said that as soon as I heard it on the YouTube stream. Awesome. All right. I'm going to try to round up some sponsors too. All right, so here we go. Eyes. So we're going to start with black. I'm going to paint the, oh man, what happened to this black? Uh-oh, This is the troublemaker black, I fear. This is the deadly exploding black, I think. I'm just gonna fart out some paint with the black here. Just enough to get the job done. And I'll find the good black. It's in that box later. All right, so we'll do that. I'm gonna mix some off-white as well. There we go. Maybe I can get skin done tonight, like faces and skin done. That'd be pretty awesome. Mix up our black. So we're gonna go in, oh, that's not the right detail brush, is it? What size brush is this? And how did this end up out here? Huh. That's the difference between this guy and this guy. Oh, that's the no wonder I was having a problem with that one. All right. Get too many different kinds of brushes. All right. Anyways, we're going to go in with the teeny tiny little size 0 brush here from Winsor Newton. And let's paint in some eyeballs. And then I'll show you how I do Asian flesh, which is just ever so slightly different than how I do Caucasian flesh. Just a really, really slight difference. In fact, it's a little easier to do Asian flesh than it is to do Caucasian flesh. All right. Now, because the eyes are slanted, some people don't paint the pupils in, they just paint the eyes in black, kind of shade around it. And that looks fine. That's an easy way to get around trying to paint teenier eyes. I paint them in though, because I don't know. Even if you can't see them, I like to think that I want my models to be able to see out. I know it's weird. I know that's really weird. I don't care. All right. All right, here we go. I hope they get my Gen Con order in soon, because I've been looking at those Relic Knights, the resin minis, and it's just killing my soul. I have one right in front of me. It's for Tori, but it's his, so I can't paint it. Kind of driving me insane. All right. Let me show this to you guys, because it's driving me insane. Here, like these miniatures are so awesome. They're just screaming at me. Please paint me. Look at this. So here's Relic Knights is going to resin, okay? And look at that. It's freaking beautiful. Look at that. The detail is so sharp. It's just absolutely, here Periscope people, look at that. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Man. Oh, just. So yeah, I'm going to have to wait. And it's resin, so no pinning, except maybe to the base, and then no pinning, and then holding sharp detail, making it much better than Restic. Did I? Yeah, I did. All right, so let's mix up the white. All right. I should paint his eyes to be, I should paint this dude's eyes to be glowy like David Lopan's eyes. I might do that. It's kind of cool. Maybe we'll do that. Mr. Button. If I can actually get this white to flow. Want so badly. I know. Oh, man. We're going to have to wait until my stuff comes in. Maybe someone will sell us. Maybe, you could probably find them on eBay right now. If someone bought some. There's always that guy that bought too much. Maybe Miniature Market. Okay, one thing to note, when you're painting the whites on the eyes, you're going to come back and dot the eyes most of the time. So the important part is to focus on length, not necessarily height, right? For the white part. You want the white part to be somewhat long, because when you come in and dot the eye, you don't want your dot to eclipse the white. You want to be able to see it in there. So drag the white out horizontally across the face as far as you can tolerate, because otherwise you won't be able to actually see your eye. Okay? That was the Alice in Wonderland Malia. Yes, it is. And it's just, it's just making me so mad. I want that so bad. So bad. That would have been painted by now. I would have painted that, been happy, shot a whole video about it, told the whole world about, hey, check out how awesome this is. I blame Soda Pop. Soda Pop should know, hey, I'm super fast, and they should be paying attention to me. I'm totally lying. That's just bullshit. But yeah, because I would have had some painted, and I've been like, hey, check it out. Instead, I'm sitting here waiting while most people already have their orders. So here's his eyes coming in. Again, I need them to be longer so that I can actually dot in the eyes and you can see them. So once again, with the white part, length more important than height. All right, there's that. Are they going to release her outside of Gen Con? Yes, it is. She will be eventually a not limited. She will be a regular release. So you'll be able to buy her in stores, but we don't know when. Like, we don't know when they'll go into regular production with that. I think there's still a couple of models from the first book of Relic Knights that need to come out. So let's see how that goes. Oh, man. Paint that. Once again, this is one of the only tedious parts of painting these models. They have teeny tiny eyes, so you gotta... pinning them, it was way more painful. And I mean that literally, way more painful than painting in the eyes. All right, Let's do this. Okay. Okay. Yes, no. Their release schedule this month says this month questing night model. I don't know what that means. Are all those questing night models coming out this month? I don't know. That would be kind of weird. Maybe Codebreaker, because Codebreaker is the only. Well, Codebreaker and Vance are the only two that are from book 1. All right. Let's paint in regular eyes for Lopan here and see if we want him to have David Lopan eyes or not. Sorry, that was gibberish. I just didn't know what it meant. All right. So he has regular eyes right now. We can always come back and change it if we don't like it. I don't remember if I gave my personal one, regular eyes or not. I'm pretty sure the studio art, he does not have regular eyes. I'm just going to outline the eyes a little bit. There we go. Okay. Calico Kate starred Nebula Corsairs, Questing Knight, Sebastian Cross, Princess Malia, Anthony. Anthony's a Questing Knight? Did not know that. Oh, that makes sense. I don't think I picked up Anthony. Yeah, I didn't. Because I'm not really filling out my doctrine. Okay. All right, there's a soul carrier. It's his eyes. So once we do the eyes, then we'll move on to skin. Skin's easy for Asian models. Just a matter of picking the right colors. Okay, there we go. Last one. And we're going to start to paint the skin in. I don't think I went far enough with the white on this guy's eyes, but we'll make it work. Yeah, I most certainly did not. Here we go. It's okay. Good. All right. Cookie break. Taking a lot of cookie breaks tonight. Don't care. These are pretty good. Oh, they're little bunnies. Oh, good. There's like 3 different flavors. Let me show you something cool while we're waiting. Here's another work in progress. This is Kagamaru for Anima Tactics. And I have him standing, almost sort of floating on a tree stump here. He's going to be fun to paint. He'll go super quick, too. So I'm going to stick with kind of that brownish color there. I'll be honest with you, I'm actually using him to test out my color scheme that I'm going to use on the Court of Owls that's coming in the end of this week. Miniature Market sent me their shipping info because, unlike Soda Pop, they actually want me to get things. Much salt in my comment there. I'm not, but yeah. So I should be getting the Court of Owls and whatever the Arkham Butcher or whatever for the Batman miniatures game. And from what I've seen, they all share a very similar color scheme. So I'm going to batch paint them similar to how I'm doing these guys. But that one should go actually pretty fast. The difficult part with that Court of Owl set is going to be building it because those night models are interesting to build. When I say interesting, I say difficult. I mean difficult. It's like building old school metal miniatures. As I paint this set, which I believe this set was made in 2006 or something. No, probably later, 2009. But this set had its own difficulties. Just really, really finicky, fiddly little bits. And you end up bleeding when you pin them. Which is not unlike Infinity. Infinity is the other set that makes me bleed when I pin it. So now, okay, now we're starting to see him with his regular eyes. He looks okay. He just looks like an angry old Chinese man right now, which is about apt for. I mean, that's kind of the character. So, not terrible. He has his little goatee there swaying to one side. So you got to paint the whole little Fu Man. Oh man, this brush might have seen its last days. The Zero. I use this Zero all the time. and I abuse my brushes. I know that if I were to do a better job maintaining my brushes, they would last much longer. But I go through a couple of these a year. When I've seen guys that have had their Winsor Newtons forever. Dude has some long fingernails, man. See that? All right. Doing pretty good. Cool. So it's not really the base coat, it's more the undercoat of the skin. There we go. Start painting them up. Mr. Water Carrier. Once again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting, what you should be painting. I'm just doing some batch painting tonight of this set. This is the Eldorado Immortal set. They sculpted their skin to look somewhat leathery on some of these models. Kind of cool. This Soul Carrier sure has a big forehead. Look at that. He even kind of looks like he has a bump on his forehead. I don't understand that. Let me show him off to YouTube. It's weird looking. It looks kind of like a tortoise right now. See those weird bumps and stuff. All right. And just paint the rest of his flesh in. He's barefoot. Oops. If you guys are commenting on Periscope, I'm not looking at the phone right now, so I might have missed a comment or two. But feel free to put in comments. You can also tap the little heart button. I don't know what any of that stuff does on Periscope, honestly. I just figured, here's a new format. We might as well load that up and live stream using that too. So we're really just kind of evaluating that. We'll check it again and see, what else can we be doing for Periscope to make the feeds a little more interesting. The one thing that's nice about Periscope is the spontaneity of it. Like I can just turn on stream wherever. And I'm also going to be doing my Periscope stuff is going to be a little bit less or not as, directly focused on miniature painting and playing as the YouTube is. You'll see fair footage on it. You'll see me run around with my kid on it. So it's a little more, I guess it's a little more personal stuff on the Periscope. Tell us what's up, little peasant dude. These peasant guys are awesome. I need more peasants for myself or more students of, oh shoot, students of war. Okay, clean up, made a little mistake here. Whoop. There you go. Just like that, we fixed it. Yeah, sometimes because I water down my flesh tones so much, sometimes I don't dab off enough of that extra moisture. And you got stuff that runs into like eye sockets and stuff like that. You don't want that. You want your model and all that time you just spent dotting in the eyes, you want the eyes to look right. There we go. Oh, shoot. You know what? I totally forgot to ask. Oh, Damien, I totally Mark to get you Alias today. Totally forgot to send him a message. I apologize for that. Maybe we can bug him on Tuesday. All right. So yeah, I think we're going to paint the flesh in. We'll do a little bit more detail. I don't want to get into the painting the black tonight because that's a lot of work. Well, I guess I could base coat the black in tonight. And you guys could see what the basic breakdown of the miniatures are going to be. Well, see how far we get into skin. Although, shouldn't take us too long to paint the skin in. All right. Why does this guy remind me of the dude from Prodigy? No worries, I wasn't expecting it to happen right away anyway. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that miniature is going anywhere unless Mark buys it. But I don't think Mark is going to buy it. So we'll just, we'll ask him we have to remember to ask him on Tuesday. Be careful here, cutting around the eye. Here we go. Let me finish this. I'll show you a close-up of this dude's face. And then we'll move on to the next highlight here. He's going to have a weird final highlight because he is a hybrid. So we'll cover that too. And he's half shirtless. He's an angry peasant, this guy. If you ask me, he's kind of a badass, though. You know, this guy's been farming and cleaning and doing everything the nobles tell him what to do, and you get him out in the battlefield and he's pissed. And you're going to run at him and he's going to... I mean, the guy's power chart goes up to 11. It's crazy. Hey, what's up, Tori? Thanks for hopping on. So yeah, I'm painting up your immortals right now, as you can see. And his other hand here, his right hand, is like a hybrid hand. It's just basically 2 digits. All right. It's a great miniature, but man, pinning this guy hurt. Pinning the bureaucrat, I think there were 14 pins in this set, and the bureaucrat was like 7 or 8 of those pins. He's a very weird miniature because he has a scroll and a dragon floating around him, and then he's got a couple of sails. So there you go. Okay, so we're going to give this coat a second here to dry. Let me show you what I'm talking about, though, regarding the bureaucrat and why he was such a pain to pin. Okay, so let's bring him back into frame here. Okay, so here he is. I'm showing him off for YouTube. Actually, see if I can get both. Yeah, I can get both. So here he is. I guess I'll use my brush here to show you. So there's a joint here where his hand meets his body, and that hand is holding the scroll. There's also a joint here where the tail of the dragon joins the scroll. There's this hand here which joins the body. There's another joint here where the midsection of the dragon joins that section. There's a section right here where this part of the dragon joins the rest of it. And I believe there's another section back here where this part of the dragon joins. So there's a lot of pins. There's also these 2 sail parts right here that attach to the back. So he's a pretty complex model. But he's really cool. He's like one of my favorite models of the entire range. He's super fun. And he's a fun playstyle. He's a little difficult to get, but when you get him, he's a fun playstyle. Time for more bunnies. Let's eat some more bunnies and have a little more caffeine here. So here we go. Bunnies. This stuff is made with organic wheat. So that doesn't necessarily make me feel any better. Anyway. I need okay, so for Asian flesh, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can actually mix a yellow ochre in, or you can mix in like a heavy gold brown. That's it's a little too brown for what I want to do. You could do this golden yellow, which is probably what I'm going to use. I'm going to use golden yellow, or I can use dark flesh. And I think I want to use golden yellow. I think golden yellow mixed in with that deep skin tone should work pretty well. Should be finishing up my, let's see, devour the bunnies, just consume their organic flesh. Yes. I should be finishing up my GW unit for a local store painting competition. Cool. Good luck. All right. So here we go. I'm going to mix some golden yellow in. Ooh, with that deep skin tone. I hardly ever get to break this color out, and I think it's a pretty cool color. So kind of excited about that. And, it's been a while since I painted Immortals, and I think that's probably why I don't use much golden yellow, because I use it for that skin tone, and you can also use it to highlight like non-metallic gold. It's not a bad highlight for that kind of stuff. All right, so let's get to it. Let's mix this up. Boop. That's exactly the skin color I want. And show you guys on camera here. That color. You can't hardly see it. I know. Okay, sorry. But yeah, it almost matches my skin. That's how cool that color is. And we're going to use this as a base coat with the amount of character on this dude's face. Should look pretty cool. Highlight the hands. And do second highlight. Give him more. There you go. And then this dude has a lot of character to him. See if I can get him. See him? Periscope is like, oh, blurry. Come on, Periscope. You can see him clear as day on the YouTube side. There, he just showed up on Periscope. There you go. All right. He's the fire starter. That was a Prodigy reference. He just looks like, I don't know, he just reminds me of the dude on Prodigy. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Okay. Pretty good. He is the fire starter. Don't mess the fire starter, right? And we're going to start highlighting his hybrid parts as well. He looks like he's just barely started to warp a little bit into a hybrid. Yeah, this is a really good color for Asian flesh. Perfect, actually. Look, they look fantastic at this color. All right. Let's do this, homeboy. This guy kind of reminds, I think this dude's had a rough life. He's got a sad yet wise look to his face. He's had it rough. You know, being a peasant for his whole life. Then he goes to hell, and he's still a peasant. He's a peasant that's probably, if he ever showed up in any games, he's probably murdered a few people, but he's a peasant nonetheless. You know, he's still taking orders from David Lopan. He's probably not totally happy about that. But he is pretty mean here with his flail. All right, and last but not least, the soul carrier. He looks like Jose. And we'll call this guy the Jose soul carrier. Jose, if you're watching, you look like this soul carrier. Just saying. You're not carrying, you don't have a rice paddy hat and you're not carrying 2 giant buckets full of souls, but you just remind me of this dude. I think it's the way his face came out. Okay. There we go. Let him dry. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wash it. Don't do that. I was working with an X-Acto knife when you said that about Jose. Okay. Let's get it. Wow, I tanked these bunnies, man. This is bad. I need to eat better. Thing is, they're really good bunnies. Oh. All right. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do the hybrid part. So we're going to mix a little bit of that flesh in with this purple. We're going to kind of blend it out, okay, on a couple of areas here on this hybrid. Let's focus in on the hybrid here. That's him on YouTube. Periscope, still having issues. Come on, Periscope. Was it these bottles back here? Move the bottles out of the way. Come on, Periscope. There we go. It's when he's not on frame for the YouTube audience. Anyway, that's him. We're going to take some of this yellow-ish flesh color. Mix it ever so. And we're just going to tease it out. Okay. So tease it out along these horns. And along the claw here. So apply it, draw it out a little bit, and then just go a little bit deeper, darker with the purple. This is almost a wet blend, what I'm doing here. Uh-oh. Some weird message that I have no access to because I'm on Periscope. All right. Okay. Cool. So I'm just kind of like going in wet to dry on the purple, mixing the purple in with the golden color, and then coming back in. It's just going to give me a little bit of a blend. Add a heart bar. It's cool. See, you're eating better at least than I am. All right. Looks pretty good. Oh. Yeah. Couple more bunnies. We'll let this dry. Then the next step is we're going to wash all of this. Whoa. Whoa. I'm going to wash all this with Seraphim Sepia. And then we'll do a final highlight on it. And we'll be good to go. Let me put away these annoying brushes that aren't doing anything, namely the Reaper brush. Which I should really be turning into a dry brush at this point. And then this busted up Citadel brush. That didn't last long. I had high hopes for that brush when I first picked it up. Have you ever tried inner peas? No. Are they really peas? I think it's a clever name. If they're not really peas, though, then it's not a clever name. It's a terrible name. But just my opinion. Inner peas. Worth a look. All right. Mr. Bureaucrat. Here we go. I should have really painted in some of that gold before I do this step, but I don't care. It's late at night. What I would normally done, started to paint some of the gold parts of the costume, but it's okay. Let's just do what we got to do right here. So what's the cool part about doing Asian skin is when you wash like this, you can decide to be done. And it looks correct. It looks, I'll show you when we get to the hybrid here. You might be able to see it a little bit on this guy here. On the Jose miniature. He just looks like, I mean, he's got that, he has like a half frown on his face, kind of like Jose being skeptical about something. Like, Jose, are you coming to Tactical Tuesday? And he just kind of does this face. By the way, Jose isn't on Facebook, and he doesn't social media much. So it is one of it's like a side goal of mine to kind of make him the most famous guy on social media that has no social media. So I talk about him a lot on this channel and the Facebook groups. I'll mention Jose, knowing that Jose is nowhere near Facebook. It's just funny. It's funny to me. I don't know if it's actually funny. It might be funny to other people, but it's funny to me. Like, he's like, no, I can't have a Facebook. I'm not going to do a Facebook. And so I do a bunch of stuff on Facebook that's like, oh man, if only you had seen it, Jose. It's funny though. All right. There we go. And let's do this guy. This is the guy with the hard life, Mr. Flail guy. He's had it rough. You'll see in his face when you see these models up close. You'll see he's had a hard life. And you'll be like, I'm glad you're in hell, or at least a peasant can do 11 damage. Which, if you know Hell Dorado, 11 damage is a crazy high amount for a little 16-point trooper to have. Wow, I didn't. Oh man, didn't even paint his feet in right. Guy has had a rough life. I didn't even paint him correctly. No wonder. See, that looks like his foot's like burned off. He's just had a rough time on the farm, okay? He's... Alright. So I'm gonna have to... Actually, I'm gonna have to come back and fix this dude. So sad. All that time to come to hell and not be painted properly. I'm just gonna let that dry. I'll let that dry for a while. I can always wash it later. All right. So did that guy. Let's wash. All right. So I'm gonna wash this hybrid guy, and you'll see kind of how this sepia works. And the other cool thing, the other cool side effect to this sepia is it'll actually blend that purple that I just wet blended. Yeah, that looks right. That looks awesome. And once again, we can decide if we want to highlight it or just leave it, because that is like the proper skin tone for an Asian dude. The combination of the golden yellow, the base skin tone, and the sepia wash. Looking at all those layers together, you're like, oh, Asian dude. See? Looks super Asian. Give him Mr. Deed's foot. We'll let that dry. All right. Now, the peasants can stay that washed color, but the bureaucrat, he's he's a nobleman. He's a Chinese nobleman. He's going to spend more time inside. Plus, he's an older guy. So that's why I'm going to come in specifically on him, and I'm going to highlight him. I'm going to highlight his skin with that golden color again. And I'm just going to pick specific points again. This guy's got so much character to his face that I would be remiss not to highlight it. This guy's got a ton of character on his face. And he's an older dude. Look at that, Mr. Button. Master, you are fresh. Love Big Trouble in Little China. And this guy is just an awesome piece. Master, you are fresh. Indeed. Just like went full low pan here. Look at that. All right. Here, let me show you what I'm looking at. See that? Ah, Mr. Button. I can't get him to focus to save my life on Periscope. Can't get him to focus. Come on, Periscope. Here. Periscope is not behaving. All right, whatever. Let's do a little highlight. Still gonna do a couple of highlights on this guy because he's cool. He should have at least the top of his like bald head should have a little bit of highlight to it. Right there. Oh, he's awesome. Good job, peasant guy. This guy has some sick, like, here. Yeah, look at that. Dope. He looks dope. Man. All right. Cool. That guy's like my favorite dude. It's my favorite dude. He made me bleed putting him together, but he's my favorite dude now. All about that guy. Here's Mr. Deed's foot guy. That's still drying. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit more. Man, he's had such a rough life. No, I'm not. Let's wash his feet. Let's wash his feet. Mr. Deeds. There we go. He's gonna have brownish feet. He's been out in the field all his life. Went to hell. He could have been a lemure. He could have rejected demon rule entirely and been like a lizard, like Lost, or an ant or something. No, he's like, no, I'm still gonna, you know, toil the fields. I'm still gonna, you know, reap the rice and all that stuff. He don't care. He's about that. All right, let's Do a couple of highlights on Jose, the soul carrier. He just, it's the expression on his face. It's like, you took what for infinity? What octave? There you go. Wash the filthy peasant's feet. I did. Yeah. Now I'm highlighting Jose's feet because Jose didn't spend that much time outside. Right, Jose? What? What did you take for infinity? What? Look at him. What? Damn, Jose's hilarious. All right. Let's do a couple of highlights on Mr. Deeds. And then the skin is done. I'm glad I didn't have anything sharp in my hand with the joke. Tori's going to get this starter set. And every one of his guys now kind of has a little story attached to them. He's got Jose the water carrier. Then he's got this guy, Mr. Deeds. He's got David Lopan at the helm. And then he's got the hybrid guy, who is one of the guys from Prodigy. So I think, so that, that's all part of the bundle here, Tori, is you're getting a story with your painted set here. All of these pieces now have a history, they have an identity associated with them. Let's paint in. It's 11:30. Whew. Let's just do a black gray on the hair, like a black gray coat, and then I'm gonna, where's black gray? Black gray, one of my favorite colors of all time. So useful for so many things. Black gray is what I paint when people tell me they want something black. I lie to them and say, sure, I can paint it black, and I paint it black gray because black gray actually gets us the color we want without some of the extremely unrealistic aspects of pure black. All right, so this in. Okie doke. So we're gonna paint in this dude's Fu Man and his hair. And then I'll worry about the actual black parts of his costume probably tomorrow night when I try to finish these guys. And I guess if I can, I will also try to live stream that. Because why not? Oof, man. Okay, so he has a little bit of a Fu Man going there. And paint in his eyebrows. Okay, cool. Now he's starting to look a little more like Aziz Ansari. I don't know why. But he looks kind of like comedian Aziz Ansari. He's going to talk about his little fat cousin in Twitter or something. But he's cool. Periscope people are just going to have to trust me that he's cool. Cannot get it to focus on the Periscope. Here, try that. There, I focused a little bit. About right there. There you go. Periscope can see them nice and clear now. We still need a story for the Lemure. I know, it's because we haven't done much painting on the Lemure. Here's the Lemure. I haven't done jack shit on him, but anyway, we'll paint him up. Jose has a couple of hair spots back here. For a second, I thought Jose was bald, but no, he's got a little bit of hair. There. Good job, Jose. Keep the faith, Jose. All right. Then we're going to paint. Does this dude have hair? This dude has to have. Yeah, he does. He has hair. Does he have a. This guy does not have a. Like a Fu Man or anything. He just had a rough life. Look at him. Just had a rough go. Things didn't quite work out for this guy the way he thought. Thought he was going to hit that final point of enlightenment. Did not happen. Now he's in El Dorado and he's considered part of a starter set. Big Trouble in Little China reboot Aziz as David Lopan. I don't know. I think I would absolutely hate that. It would be funny to discuss, but it would just make me so mad if Aziz Ansari was. And I like Aziz Ansari. I think he's super funny. That would make me way sad. Yeah, this dude is he'll. Speaking of which, since I got this out, let me just do that. Get that started. That part of the flail. And this part of the flail. There we go. Okay. Go on, Mr. Deeds. This dude. I think this dude does have a little mustache. If not, we're painting one in. I do like how his skin turned out. I think he's the coolest looking one. And his little beard. There you go. He's cool. like this guy. This guy's like my favorite one, easily. He's easily my favorite one. He's a badass. Look at him. All right. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do before we call it, see how that I have that lighting there on the sickle? We're gonna put a little bit of a wash on it. I'm going to do a really, really thin wash in Nuln Oil. So I'm just going to put some of this wash on the palette. Okay. And then we're just going to thin that with a little bit of water. Not just a little bit of water, actually a significant amount of water. Okay. And here we go. I'm going to show you how. Just do that. Okay. That's just going to blend that and darken it in spots. Then you can come back and at some point I'll come back and hit it with a little white. I'll do a really, really light edge highlight along here. Give that blade a little more realistic look. So yeah, we are at 11:30. That's about as far as we're going to go on this set. The next step is to do all the black as part of the color scheme. Let's get them all back in frame here so you guys can see what we're talking about. Let's get this wash out of the frame. See if I can get both, get the whole set both in terms of the in fact, what I should do is probably paint in that. I should probably paint in the black gray on the rock right now so that you guys can make these out a little bit better, but I think we're okay. I don't know. I think we're okay. I think you can make out what they're looking like so far. So tonight we did the red, we did the skin and the faces, and that's about it. You can see that's the major parts of the model. I would say these models are about 35% finished. But we're at a point where it's going to be pretty quick from this point on. There's some gold to do here. This guy's got tons of details left on him. These other three, not so much. They don't have much detail left. So these guys will for sure be finished tomorrow if we break out some time to paint. The Lemire will probably also be finished tomorrow. It's just going to be a question of Mr. David Lopan, how far we can get on him. I'm pretty confident though, as long as I've got, as long as nothing weird happens, my son doesn't decide not to sleep tomorrow, I think we're good to go. So that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to stop Periscope right now. So good night, Periscope guys. Thanks for watching. So Periscope is done. And let's see if, Immortals, yeah. So that's also going to do it for this side on the YouTube side. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.